guys, and welcome back to STL TV Live. I'm your host, Christia Parker, and now joining me in the studio is rap star Chingy. How are you?
How you doing?
Good. Thanks for coming by.
No problem at all.
You know what? You're like a rap star now. Did you ever think that your name would be around the globe like it is right now?
I hope so. I've always hoped that my name would be, ringing household name and everything, but coming up when I was younger, and I started rapping like when I was 8, so coming up, that's something I always wanted, but I never really knew if it would happen, so I just had to keep grinding, and eventually it worked out. But it happened to work out when I changed my name from one name to Chingy.
What was that name?
It was it was back in my little teen days. I used to be called Thugsy.
Okay.
So we changed that around, and now it's Chingy, but it worked out for the best.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Now you say you started rapping when you were like 8 or 9 years old.
8 years old, I started rapping.
Who were you listening to at that time?
8 years old, I grew up around a lot of my older cousins and everybody. So I used to always listen to like DJ Quick, NWA, Run DMC, LL Cool J, Fat Boys, Ice Cube. I was listening to a lot of older people. You know what I'm saying? I loved Crisscross, ABC, and I also grew up in a BBD, New Edition.
Right.
I also I grew up in a house where we listened to Temptations, Marvin Gaye, and just a lot of older people too. So I just was well-rounded.
Right.
Michael Jackson, rest in peace. Whitney Houston, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? So I was well-rounded when it came to music.
That's awesome. So you said 8 or 9 years old, you wrote your first rap.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that rap
I
was?
actually remember the first rap I wrote. It was called for a song called Knuckle Up. Like in '88, a cousin of mine had a friend that rapped. He was older than me, and I had a song on his demo. It was like a 5-song demo, and the song was called Knuckle Up. And the rap was like, I was 8 years old, but it was like, knuckle up with a smooth pace. I'm beating like hard bass. You thought you was hard, that's why I'm taking it to your face. And I'm not the type to give up on the cool beat. I'm coming through your doors, breaking and shaking concrete. I'm loped out, and all you cats get choked out. Capacitate the room, and all you simps get smoked out.
You remember this? You remember this? How do you remember this?
Vividly. It was actually one of the first songs that I wrote, that I actually wrote myself, and that we put down in the studio. So I think it just stuck with me over the years. It's just a great memory.
So was that on tape or CD? Is it still circulating right now?
It was on tape. It's still a tape circulating with that on there. I gotta find it.
Wow.
I gotta find it. I'm pretty sure they still got one. Kilo, the guy who demoed it was. So I gotta find it.
Well, now one of your biggest hits was Right There. Can you take us through the process? How long did it take to create that song, and then when did you know that it was a hit?
Actually, Right There, I wrote when I was like 16. I wrote that hook and a verse. And I remember stopping and just not completing the song. So this is like when I was like 16. 22, when I started working with the Track Stars, which was the producers from the album Jackpot in 2003 that I came out with. They, when we started working on Right There, the whole song, before we sent it to Shaka Zulu, Shaka was like, he heard the song on the CD and was like, tell him to finish that song. So I wouldn't, because when I heard the beat, I was like, I got a song to that, just that quick. So he was like, tell him to finish that song, and then let's put it on vinyl and send it out. But I never knew the song would even get as big as it did. But I'm assuming from, with the St. Lunatics, Nelly, everybody, when they came out, I think people was just attracted to the way that we talked, the way that we say certain things here, like, the hers, the thurs, and all of that with the R's on the end.
Right.
So I think it just worked out for the best.
What was it like to hear your song on the radio for the first time? Just not here in St. Louis, but just like just all over.
Around the world, actually. It was great. I really couldn't complain about it. I actually heard, like, locally, back in the days, like 96, we used to try to get our songs on the radio.
Right.
So I've heard my song on the radio, but in that way, it was just different because I heard on the radio here, and we was working out of Atlanta. I heard in Atlanta, we'd be in California. I heard in California, New York, and then go overseas, you heard. It was just kind of amazing that around the world, people knew your music.
That is so cool. We got a lot more to talk to with Chingy about. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to take a real quick break. But remember to keep up with STL TV and all the great events going on around St. Louis, how much talent there is in St. Louis. You got to friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can always catch us streaming live at stltv.net. We'll be right back.